Hello, folks. Welcome back to Strange and Wonderful. I'm your host with the most, Courtney Webb, and this is my beautiful co-host, Dahlia, my girlfriend. Thank y'all for tuning in. For my, I cannot English today. Anyway, what I'm about to say is, from my last episode, we had interviewed my friend, Bloody Bill Pond. Oh, may I call him Billy Pond, a director of Circus the Dead and Dollboy. And he was such a hoot to have on the show. It was such a hilarious good time. So tonight, I have a very special guest tonight. He had been featured in a lot of independent horror films, and he has been featured in Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell as Commando. Tell me his name. Tommy Commando? Yeah, Tommy Commando. And he's been featuring Circus is Dead as Papa Corn. That's how I discover him. And a lot of other films. And he has been and has an Emmy nomination. No. He has a daytime Emmy award for his portrayal as the Facebook stalker in Take This Lollipop. And I remember watching that game and stuff, and it was like, whoo, send me chills, and ooh, boy. I'm like, I'm not playing that game. I don't want my address and everything going in. And I see we have a comment, and we have, what's up, Courtney? Let's get the strange party started. Yes, Seth, let's get the strange party started. So let me introduce my good friend, my actor friend. He is wonderful. He is phenomenal. He's been featured. He plays Abraham Lincoln in Abraham vs. Zombies, an Asylum film. But hey, you gotta love some cheesy Asylum film once in a while. And some historical events, not historical events, a historical channels, documentaries as well. Here's my friend, Bill Oberst Jr. Hello, welcome to the show.
Courtney, you are absolutely darling.
Oh, thank you. You're gonna make me blush.
You are so full of life. It's just, don't ever change. You're inspiring, and it's really been wonderful getting to know you leading up to the interview. So, folks who are watching, if you may wonder, like, is Courtney really like this? Yes, she's really like she is on the show all the time, and it's absolutely delightful. So I'm just charmed by you, and I'm so happy to be on your show. Thank you.
And thank you for coming on my show, because I was kind of shocked, like, he wants to be on my show? Oh my God.
And when Courtney sends an email, almost no matter what she says, I hope you don't think I'm weird.
It's
like,
true, because I think...
But anybody that actually is weird would never say that. So that's how you can tell somebody is not weird, when they say, hey, you may think I'm weird. And why is it always the sweetest people who like the most twisted stuff? All the horror people that I know are just such good-hearted, sweet people, but they love to see decapitations and, people being fed their significant others on a plate, scrambled eggs, and all this stuff. We're really sweet, but we like twisted stuff.
I think it's because of maybe a darker side within ourselves we want to see, but we like, no, we have moles.
And I think sometimes maybe it's like...
Maybe in a fictional sense, maybe in a fantasy or some way.
I know that people who love horror are a lot more comfortable with death. Mm-hmm. They're more cool about it. They don't freak out as much about it, because like we play with it all the time. So it's almost like, every time we watch a horror movie or something, it's like we're playing with death, like a little Play-Doh man or something. And so the subject doesn't freak us out the way. There's some people who will absolutely just not discuss death. They don't want anything to do with it.
It's true. Yeah. I remember in high school, all my people be planning their weddings and stuff, like the fancy weddings and stuff. You know what me and my friends did? We planned our funerals. Because we don't know when we're going to get married, but we know we're going to die.
Yeah, I know. I've planned mine too since I was like 17. So yeah. Of
Oh my
course,
god.
when you
I,
die, I think a lot of times people like, she wanted that, but we're not going to do that.
I know. I'm like, excuse you, this is what I want. Give me my
And
heavy metal list, metal
you go through
music.
different phases because, like, when I was a teenager, I was really like, I was angry and I was like, I want everybody to be forced to wear a T-shirt that says he's not sleeping, he's dead. That was like my angry young man phase. But thankfully, I moved
Edgy.
past that because nobody was going to do that.
That sounds
And then
like
for
your
a while, I wanted clowns to hand out balloons that said "Love one another," and then I moved
oh,
past that too.
that's actually cute but sad at the same exact time. I'm like, oh. See, we got a comment from my friend Chandler. He's in the audience. Hey, Chandler.
Hey, Chandler.
Fun fact about how me and Chandler became friends. He actually like, hey, I saw your artwork. I want you to draw me getting hugged by popcorn. I'm like, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, your Papa Corn, some of the best Papa Corn caricatures I've seen are yours. And then you've created a female character to go with Papa Corn. What is she? What's her name?
ah, my self-Sona one.
Yeah.
Her name is actually her. Well, she's kind of based on me, except in a fictional sense. But her clown name is Candy Tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one, which is a totally different story. Her name, she's actually blonde, but she has like half pink and half blue hair and white makeup. Her name is Mama Pop.
Nice. Now,
Yeah.
did Billy Pond tell you that he was planning a Circus of the Dead too?
Yes, I got. Oh, like yes, I want to be the victim. I want to be
So,
popcorn victim.
yeah, maybe there should be more female representation. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, we were talking about like a clown film too, like an all girl clown film. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I love to do that. Like, pick me.
Billy would be so down for an all girl clown film.
I
He is
know.
he is the sweetest person you've ever met, and also one of the most twisted at the same exact time. It's
Okay,
a nice combination.
I think Bill should know me now. We did meet at a show. Yes, you did. You mean at the Indianapolis show? You were doing Amnesty, the show about Satan.
Oh yeah, it's a show called Adversary.
Adversary.
It's a stage show that I tour with. I chose that word because the word that's translated from the Greek in the Bible is translated as devil or Satan. The actual meaning is adversary. It's
Adversary.
a courtroom term as the
Mm-hmm.
person who accuses you in the ancient courtroom. So it's a show about how people have viewed Satan over the centuries, and it's a little stage show. I just did it at the Ray Bradbury Center this fall, and I'm getting ready to tour it around. I like doing stage.
I want to see you in action. I'm like, here's my money, take it. I want to see you go.
Well, stage is like a blind date because it's like a group of people you've never met before and you'll never
hmm
meet them again. And
Exactly.
so, like, you're trying to feel each other out, whereas film is more like this hungry, voracious, very experienced lover who may or may not like what you have to offer. And so you're like on your toes and like, oh, I really hope the camera likes me. That's so, yeah, it's a completely different feeling.
So, do you prefer acting on stage or film or television?
It depends on whether you want to go on a blind date or be with a hungry, voracious lover who may or may not like what you have to offer. Depends on your mood.
And let's see, we got some more comments. Like, can't wait for Circus. Me too. I'm like, oh man, I have so many ideas for Billy. I'm like,
Did
Bill, use
did
me.
Billy tell you any of his plot ideas for Circus of the Dead?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, then I won't either, but yeah, they're unique. He's not going to repeat
No.
the same
I
thing.
did.
Not It's not going to be like, oh, it's part 2 and they're doing exactly the same thing.
Nah. It'd
He
probably
wouldn't
be
do that.
totally different and everything. And I'm like so excited for that. I'm like, yes. But then again, I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be messed up. I just know it.
We,
It's just gonna.
Courtney, it took me years to be able to watch the film after the first time because it was, I mean, when I first watched it, it really, really affected me. It was a rainy day in Los Angeles, really overcast, and
Mhm.
um, that movie just, I mean, it didn't seem to me to be me on screen.
Oh yeah,
It
because
was
it's
this
scary.
horrible, evil character. And I had to go outside, even though it was raining. I just had to go outside and walk. And I didn't watch it again for a couple of years. Now I can watch it, but it took me a long time to be able to get comfortable with Papa Corn to say, yeah, I would do that again. Because right after, I was like, no, I never will do this again, because Papa Corn really got into my
Mm-hmm.
brain for a long time. But I think now with Billy's help, I could do it again.
And, like, do you feel like you can separate the character from yourself, or do you feel like
Well, so usually you can, but with him, it's just been a
Mhm.
couple of characters that I played that were like that. And when one of them was Father Simon in Children of Sorrow, and one of them was Papa Corn. Um, I don't know. When you watch it, you're thinking, I didn't do that. That's not
Mhm.
me. It's a complete disconnect, because Billy got you to a place that you'd never been to before.
Yeah, and I'm like, whew, that sent me shivers. Okay, got no comment. He was incredible on stage. Eye contact he made with the crowd was so intense and cut right through me. I bet it was, Channel. I would love to witness it myself.
I
Uh,
like making eye contact. People don't make enough eye contact, Courtney. Like,
I'm
you know how people freak out when you meet their eyes,
yeah,
but and at the same time, people want to be seen. Everybody really wants more than anything else to be seen, and yet we're like, don't look at me, but see me. It's weird.
yeah. I feel that could sometimes be like, why are you staring at me?
Maybe just because they want to see you, but it doesn't mean they want to hurt you
I know.
or invade you. They just want to see this other human being who's really right there in front of them. I don't know.
I mean, you're pretty beautiful yourself, so inside and out. And I was like, dang, that's beautiful, like a
So
work of art.
yeah, we should look at each other more. We should allow ourselves to be seen. That's the great thing about doing a film scene or on stage with another actor. If
Hmm.
they're good, they'll give you their eyes completely. So it's like this person who you really don't know, because they're like on their phone or in the
Hmm.
makeup or whatever. And then suddenly you get into the scene and they're completely vulnerable with you. And it's like you've known them forever. And it's beautiful and very weird and very intense.
And I'm just like, oh, I am breath taken away. It's
Well,
just,
that's why people have affairs on set, because
hmm,
you're giving yourself absolutely and completely in that scene. You're giving your eyes to someone else, and so there's all kinds of connections that take place. So it's a bad side effect.
oh yeah. I'm like, nope, it's acting. No, it's acting. They don't like you like that. Stop. So we got a comment. Hello, Bill. Oh, woo! It's almost a full moon. Are you ready? Yes. Yes, I am. I am so ready for the full moon. The witching owl.
Absolutely. I'm a
Uh,
big werewolf fan. So
Ow!
yeah, nice howl. There's
Ow!
something about the howling that I just love. When I was a boy, I used to go outside at night when everybody in the family was asleep, and walk around in the dark and like climb a tree and try to howl just
Mhm.
to see what it felt like. Um, yeah, there's something about that.
I
Where
remember. Oh, sorry. Go
werewolf
on.
movies are so, people have such expectations now that it's really hard to do them indie style, because people are
Mhm.
like, I want the full thing and it costs. But I would love to play a werewolf.
Yeah, I like maybe a werewolf and a werewolf love story. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
I like. I kind of like that with like the Jack Nicholson film called
wolf.
Wolf. Yes.
Yeah, I like that werewolf because it
Me
wasn't
too.
like the full on, Rick Baker thing, but it
Yeah.
still works.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, ooh. And then I'm like, I then I discovered something new about myself. Like, oh, I like werewolves now. I need to stop. I need to stop. My boyfriend's like, Courtney, control yourself. Control yourself, you
I'm sure he
heathen.
knows you and he understands and
Oh
loves
yeah, he does. He knows I'm crazy. Let's see, we got a question. I'm trying to get to my questions, but I keep getting distracted by werewolves. Bill, have you kept any props from anything you've been in? If not, is there something you would wish you had kept?
you. I've got too much stuff, Courtney. It's always a little something. I mean, sometimes it's a memento. Like I did a film called Dis in Mexico, and the entire crew was Mexican, and so they signed a Mexican flag for me, and I've
Mhm.
got it folded up right down here, and I don't have anywhere really to put it. But yeah, I keep like bloody
Oh
gloves,
wow.
and it's just stuff I can't. I threw away a bunch of awards recently. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that you don't have room for all this stuff. The one behind me up there is from Children of Sorrow, and I kept it because it's like a zombie head.
Mhm.
So yeah, I have shoes. I have boots that are stained with blood, like 3 pairs in my closet right
Oh
now.
wow.
Yeah, I always want to take uh, as much stuff as they'll let me take, and then I'm like, you don't have room for this.
No, you
But
don't.
so the answer is yes.
Because you're like, I want to take this, but you like, your home's like, please no,
I know
please
the good.
no.
Well, sometimes usually you fly to a shoot, and so you're helped out by the fact that they'll say, "Oh, would you like to take this stone bust that was in the movie?" And you're like, I can't put that in my carry-on. So, but
Yeah,
little things,
it'd be too big.
yeah, little things like necklaces and yeah, I think I still have my wedding ring from the Hallmark movie,
Oh,
and yeah, all kinds of stuff. This is
you
the
went
stuff that when you die, people look at this and they think, "What is this shit? What am I supposed to do with this?" And then they just throw it in a box for Goodwill.
exactly.
And that's how somebody at Goodwill ends up with an Emmy award because they're like, "What?"
Like, oh my god, I got an Emmy.
Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, it's 250."
Out of everywhere you have traveled to when filming, where has been your favorite destination for from
Well,
Seth?
I really like Eastern Europe. I just got back from Hungary,
Mhm.
from doing one in Hungary for Joseph Gallet called Stranger in the Woods, and I love that part of Europe. I've done Romania and Hungary and Czech Republic. Czech Republic was fantastic. Poland, Germany, Austria. I love that corner of Europe very much. I also really, really love Mexico, the small towns in Mexico. So, like, there's this film festival called Feritum,
Mhm.
and the movie Dish there, we won some awards. We did well there. And so the director, Adrian Corona, and I went there. And it's a little town called Talapahawa. And it's way up on top of a mountain, a lot of windy roads to get there. And so we went to a restaurant there, and there's no menu. They just bring you what they have.
Oh, okay.
Courtney, it was amazing.
Oh,
I mean, it was
wow.
just like the best food. And the greatest thing was that, unlike, Americans were like, I want to see the full menu. They were like, this is what we have to eat today. And they put it in front of you, and you were like, okay. There's a
I
whole nother way to be than the American. I want the full menu. I want to see everything. And why don't you have this special? So I love traveling around the world. The smaller places are always the better. We went a forest in Hungary and then in a very small little historic village, and it was beautiful.
wow, I bet it was because I like exploring the small towns and stuff that not many people know about, and you're like, "This
That's
is
it.
that's beautiful." Because I know in Arkansas, there's a place called Blanchard, Arkansas, and they have caverns and caves, and it's really nice. Not much to do, but it's really pretty. It's a pretty place. If you ever go to Blanchard, Arkansas, check it out. It's pretty cute, especially the bats. They have bats.
Oh, well, that sounds cool. Yeah, that's the kind of place I love where there's something to discover.
Yeah, and, like, in some places in, like, Texas, like Jefferson, Texas, that's pretty much had nothing but antique shops, like, everywhere, and it's pretty like, this is so homey and this you're just comfortable and you just feel like you're at home and everything. Okay, I see. Okay, I see. I got something. Looking great, Bill. Hi from me and voice Chuck. Well, hello.
Hello, who's that? Who is it?
It's
Who's?
Alex Shucks.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Hello, Alex. Okay, let me start.
It's so nice that you get comments from people. That's cool.
Yes, I usually don't. They usually be like nothing.
Really, it's like crickets.
Exactly. It'd be like empty, nothing. I'm like,
You know,
okay, well, I could talk about anything now.
I've been on podcast shows where people are supposed to call in, and most of them is just like the people's friends,
Yeah.
and so sometimes they'll like call in, but they have no questions for me. They just want to talk to their buddy about whatever. So you're kind of just like,
I'm just you. I
So
guess
this is
I'm
nice.
yeah. Because with my show, okay, one, I have finally reached 103 subscribers, and I'm like, well, I guess I could be dressing up as Alt the Clown doing my song, Clown Cafe with my hands. You already know. You
All
already
right.
know. Okay, I planned that out in December. Okay, let me get
But if
people.
Art the Clown and Papa Corn were thrown into a pit with no weapons, like when I did Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies, uh,
Hmm.
there were the three films that came out right after each other: Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Lincoln versus Vampires, and then Lincoln, Steven Spielberg. So somebody had a Facebook thing going that said, "Naked in a Pit, the three Abraham Lincolns. Which
Oh,
one
God.
wins?"
I don't
So
know. They're
like
all Abraham Lincoln. How you know?
Daniel Day Lewis and me, and then Benjamin from the Abraham Lincoln versus Vampires. But if you threw Art the Clown and Papa Corn like that into a pit, who would come out alive?
Well, it depends because one, Alt the Crown, he been kind of going to the more supernatural side, so and plus he had risen from the dead a couple times.
So
So
you're not giving Papa Corn a chance at all.
I don't know, man. Billy hadn't said anything, so I'm like, I kind of want to give Popcorn a chance, but hey, I think Alt might win on this one.
Do you really? I wholeheartedly disagree with you. And I say that in love and friendship, but I wholeheartedly disagree with you.
Okay, well, no one said Papa's gonna win too. I'm like,
Papa is not to be underestimated.
okay, what do you think? What made you think Popcorn would win against Alt the Clown?
Oh, please.
Oh, I want to know.
Papa Corn, he's the devil. He knows everything about you. Art is just playing around. Papa Corn knows you are shit, inside and out.
You think he can get in Alt's clown head? But then again, Alt the Clown would be like probably just laughing at him. He'd be like,
Papa doesn't mind if you laugh at him. In
oh yeah.
fact, he enjoys the sound of your laughter as your last sound.
Oh geez.
So,
But here's the thing.
yeah,
But here's the thing. But
I
here's the
think
thing.
Papa
Alt the
wins.
Clown doesn't make no sound. So how are you gonna heal him?
Yeah, okay. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Make
I
it
don't know.
an audience.
I remember I asked David Howard Thornton the exact same question when I was at GeekCon. I asked him who would win, Alt the Clown or Papa Corn. He's like, no matter, Alt the Clown. Come on,
See, we got
he got demonic powers.
right because we've got to pull for our guy. Yeah, we got to pull for our guy. So it's understandable. That's my team.
Papa.
Team Circus.
Me, I'm like, I like both, so I don't know. I mean, at least Papa. No, well, with Papa, I don't know, man. Oh, yeah, Papa loves me. That's what someone says. Yeah, he loves me too.
Yes, Papa will always love you.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, Papa.
That was one of my favorite mannerisms of Papa, which was from Billy, because I had no idea how to play the character. But that little, yes.
I'm like, that's creepy, but go on. I am messed up in the head. For real, real life.
the scene in Circus of the Dead with Rose
Yeah,
at the convenience store, who's a dear friend of mine, Tiffany.
yeah.
And we both thought afterwards that had that not ended in her death, that could have been like a really nice little getting to know you pre-romantic scene.
Exactly, it could have
Because
been, but
they were flirting with each other and it was really kind of cute until
he's like,
he
nope, I gotta fuck it up. Let's go.
yeah, see, and that's Papa's problem.
Yeah, he's
He's
like, nope.
always got, he can't control himself. He just can't, you can't have nice things around him.
No, you can't. He's like, cause real life me be like, hell no, I'm out of here. Cause honestly, real life, no. But fictional me be like, yeah, you could take me.
Yeah, so maybe
Cause
be like,
cause I remember the window scene. He's like, you want the clown? You want the clown? Me, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I do want the clown. Papa, you can have me.
oh, that window scene. Billy was like, I was just trying to channel Billy because Billy was like, just slobber on the window. Just like, just lick that window. And I was like, okay.
Oh Jesus. Someone said they want to know about the silicone prosthetic. How did that feel in the Circus Death movie?
It was very heavy.
Oh jeez.
It was extremely heavy. I think they're talking about the prosthetic penis.
Yeah.
So the prosthetic penis came about, and the makeup, our makeup artist, Marcus, who's so amazingly talented, he created that out of the box because
wow.
Billy just decided that he wanted this penis that had a clown face on it. And and he wanted a larger canvas than could be provided by nature. And so Marcus just created this thing. So it was really heavy, and it was attached with like a sort of a thong. So it had to be duct taped to my body so it wouldn't fall down because it was really, really heavy. So you're trying to walk with this like cannon in between your legs. I had to chase a girl down a parking lot ramp in Odessa, Texas, in the middle of the night with a live cattle prod in that prosthetic penis.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember it fondly. I saw it at a convention once. Billy had it, and people were posing with it.
I guess I remember first time seeing that scene the first time. I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I was like,
right shortly after that, I did a film with Ezra Buzzington, who was in Hills Have Eyes and The Artist and a bunch of other great films, and is better known than me. And Ezra and I were comparing notes because he had himself recently worn a prosthetic penis. And he said, oh God, they're so uncomfortable. They're so heavy. And I was like, I know. Why can't they make them lighter? Because I've worn 3 of them in my various films. And I think Ezra might have outdone me. So yeah, there's the whole little club of us who've done the prosthetic penis thing.
"Huh, that's good to know." I probably end up emailing you like, "I want to know. I want to know. Tell me everything, Bill."
Oh, always, if given a choice, always use the prosthetic. Always.
Yeah.
It's just more reliable.
Because you don't know what could happen.
No.
Okay. Okay, someone had a question. How does it feel knowing someone bought the silicone prosthetic? Yeah, someone actually bought that.
What did they say?
How does it feel knowing someone bought the silicone prosthetic?
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm absolutely delighted.
They probably have it hanging on the wall, mounted. It like yeah.
That is much too awesome. It was a really, really nice job Marcus did. I mean, he just created that. It was amazing. It had veins and everything. It was a really, really nice prosthetic penis. It was a classy job.
It was a pretty penis. I would say that. It was a pretty penis.
Yeah.
Man, everybody just send me questions about the penis. Like, y'all, come on. Honestly, I don't care. This show is 18 plus. I just want to make sure you're comfortable. Real question. I apologize, but were you set to do the scenes with the penis before the prop was created, or how would you have felt if you were in the buff for Circus of the Dead?
Highly inadequate to the task at hand. So it's as I say, it's always much better to, use the prosthetic, and
yeah,
you're always going to come out smelling a little more like a rose that way.
Well, that's Thank you. You gave me some good acting advice. Prosthetics, no
But it
matter
wasn't a
what.
planned scene. It was an added scene. So yeah,
Well, that's a fun fact. It was not planned at all, folks.
right.
It was improv. Okay. Okay, what is strange and wonderful about yourself?
What is strange and wonderful about me?
Yeah.
Wonderful, nothing. Strange. You know what? For once, I'm at a loss. I suppose that other people would have to say that about us, right? Other people would be better able to say what is strange and wonderful about a person. To me, I mean, I just see a bulbous nose and bad teeth and all the stuff that everybody sees when we look in the mirror and a bunch of regrets and yeah, I don't know that there's anything wonderful about me, and I like to think that I'm unique and strange, but maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just boring. I don't know. I
Nah.
have to let
Yep.
other people can say.
Because to me, you're beautiful in every way, inside and out. From
Well,
the
you're
interactions
sweet.
I have.
I,
From the
and I feel
interaction.
I feel the same way about you. And but nobody feels that way about themselves. Or if they do, then they got problems. they're borderline psychopathic. Anyone who looks in the mirror and says, "Wow, I'm wonderful," it's like whoop whoop whoop. Red alert! Red alert!
Danger, danger.
Oh yeah, danger.
And I see we got Billy in the audience. Hey, Billy!
Billy
Bill,
Pond?
yes.
Oh my God.
Make me your victim, Billy. I want to be the victim in the Circus of the Dead too. Please.
Billy, this woman loves you. You need to respond.
Please, Billy. I want to be Popcorn's victim. Don't worry, I act scared. God, I'm like, no, Courtney, no. Control yourself. Okay, see, we got some questions. Bill, you lie. You're wonderful. Yes, Channel. He is very wonderful indeed. And we got another comment. Bill is both strange and wonderful, loving the spectrum so much. Buddy Bill, that's wonderful. Oh, that's beautiful. And someone said, "You're so handsome. I was sending you a million hugs." Same.
Oh my goodness.
Same.
Well,
I would ship myself in the box like, "Hello." You're like, "Nope, sending you back. Sending you back. Bye." It's like, oh, come on. I just want to hug you.
a face like a mesa. One review said. Like so, I had to look up mesa, and I was like, yeah, that pretty much describes it.
Over the years of getting to know Bill, I would say he's wonderful by the way of his outlook on life. Yes, he is. Very wonderful on that.
Well, my outlook on life is really an outlook on death. It's just flipped because we're going to die,
Yep.
and it's inevitable, and it will happen, and therefore we should construct our lives around that reality. And it's liberating to do that because then you think, what do I have, and how can I put it to use for the good of everybody around me?
Mm-hmm.
That's I no longer do. I used to think that happiness was something we like claim for ourselves. Like I need to have these things or these experiences to be happy. And now I think I've learned that you have to give everything away and then you'll be happy. Like the things you think, oh, I got to hold on to this for myself, you have to just give it away to other people. Like today is a me day. This is my day and I have to do it. So then maybe somebody needs you.
Mm-hmm.
So you give the day away.
Mm-hmm.
And at first you bitch about it, but then afterwards you're like, I feel so much better than I would have if I had just hogged the day for myself. So I think there's something to like the idea of giving stuff away and not being so worried about like, well, you know, I'm giving more to them than they're giving to me. Like
Yeah.
just being a servant, just giving stuff away. I don't know. I think that's more of a route to happiness.
You're gonna make me cry. I'm trying not to cry on my show. No.
Crying's okay, unless it's like the kind of bawling crying.
Going like,
That's not no. Never do the bawling crying. No,
No.
the gentle tear, the choked sob, that's all right. But the choking, snotting, especially when the snot gets going, no.
No. That's just too much right there.
Don't do the snot cry.
Okay. Yes.
Or even, you know what's even funnier is the indignant cry where people are really mad and they start to cry. And then they're like, because you told me you never said that you were good. You know, they emphasize the words like that. And I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
When you're crying, don't talk because it sounds ridiculous and comical.
Yeah,
So
because
yeah, a little crying goes it's like being pissed off. A little goes a long way.
Yeah. I agree. I'm trying to get started. This is from Wade McDaniel. Just wanted to say hi and let you know how much we appreciate your work. A Darko 50 Shades of 2015 fetish set was amazing. I have not seen that film. I heard some things about that film. What that film about?
Tell me what it was again.
Bring up the caption. Darko 50 Shades 2015.
Say the title again.
A Darko 50 Shades.
Oh, A Darker 50 Shades. I mean, because the original title was The Fetish Set. Thank you for that. I forget that they changed the name. Thank you for that comment. Boy, that was a weird film. Yeah, it was about a group of people who were into sort of the bondage mindset. And some of them had fallen under the sway of this guy, me, who for him, it was really just a power thing, and he was evil, and he was really hurting them in their lives. And so they decided to get revenge, and they did. So I guess it was a revenge film in that way.
Oh, wow.
But I had this prosthetic on my chest. They wanted him to be like pigeon chest. And so he had this really weird, like, my ribs are prominent anyway, but it made it really, really big. So he had these really prominent ribs, and he drove around in a bathrobe, and he had these rings on. He was really creepy.
Oh man, I'll be like,
he danced on top of a car in the moonlight. I remember that. I remember shooting that scene.
I need to watch this film now. Like, I gotta see this now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that I saw the whole thing, but I do remember that. Huh. It's funny how you forget things. You know, I asked Adrienne Barbeau about this. When we did Criminal Minds, and I said, have you done things that you've forgotten about? And she was like, oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. She said, people all the time. And I was like, I wasn't on that show. And then I look it up and I think, yes, you were.
You're like, oh no, I was.
A lot of times when people are like, why did you take that role? Why did you do that? The answer is usually rent, Courtney.
Exactly. Money.
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
bills.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We got a couple more questions. Okay. I was too afraid to ask for a hug when I met him, but I so wish I did. He was truly one of a kind. Oh, Shanwell.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. People hug all the time. But it's better when they don't say, can I hug you? Because then it's freaky, you know?
Now you just make it weird.
Yeah. It's better if it's
but then again,
hey, I love you, man. And they just hug you. That's okay. But I did have one person who said, I have to warn you, I'm a hugger. And when I hug, I really hug. And then I was like, oh no, now I don't know if my hug will be sufficient. And now I'm like really guarded.
I love hugs.
Yeah. If you're going to hug, just hug.
I had to ask a certain guest. Like, I remember I asked Quint Howell when he went to GeekCon one time. I asked him, like, hey, can I hug you? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. Hey, I understand. Come on. I have a sister. And she does not like hugs at all. She will punch you. So, yeah, don't hug her.
Better to just, like, go in. They won't punch you. They will punch me. If I went in to hug somebody, you better believe it.
No, I don't know. Quentin Howard probably can take me down. He's like, bam! I told you, no hugging.
But when someone says, "May I hug you?" I don't know. It's just kind of weird. So yeah, just hug.
It just, well, I know next time when I meet you, I'll be like, come here.
Yeah, that's it. Come here is good. Or although sometimes it is weird if you meet somebody in a business, like a strictly business setting. I've done this,
Mhm.
and I shake hands because that's what
Yeah.
I was taught. Shake hands, look in the eye, and I put out my hand, and they're like, "We hug around here. Come here." And then you're pulled in involuntarily, and you're like, "Oh, I wasn't ready for this."
I can understand when it comes to strangers, like, oh no, I don't
But
know
at a
you.
con, most people at cons do
Yeah.
hug.
Yeah. I met a couple more people and stuff. They like, oh yeah, I do hugs. Like, yay. But
COVID was weird
weird,
because
yeah.
not being able to hug was really weird.
Yeah, because people were just scared of getting sick and everything, and I couldn't
Has
blame it.
has Doug Jones hugged you?
No, I hadn't
Oh my
met Doug
God.
Jones yet. I want to meet him.
Well, he will hug you.
You
You
hug
want
me?
you will be hugged. Doug almost broke my back. In fact,
Oh.
he picked me at one con. No, I don't mean that in a bad. He didn't literally break my back, but he's like, he's like here. I'm staring at his belly button, and he picked me up like a child, and just did this, and my feet are going like, oh, and he's like, Billy, Billy, Billy.
Oh.
Doug is like that, and
Oh,
I was like,
mean, I can't.
wow, I've never been picked up like a child and swung around before, but if you're gonna do it, it should be by Doug Jones.
Oh, yeah, I want to now. I'm like, come here, Doug. You played my childhood, and plus you played the fish man from The Shape of Water.
Yeah, he's sweet. A
He's
lot of people
amazing.
so many people in this business are sweet, really sweet, good people. As I say, we like to tell dark stories.
Yes, we do. I see Billy said he's 100% right, always pays it forward and put kindness in more importance than material things. Yes, he does.
Yeah, yeah, it is. The material things don't really matter if you're, kind of a pisswad, because then you're just not happy. You're just grabbing stuff for yourself,
Exactly.
and you can sit among your stuff, and your stuff ain't gonna love you.
No.
You ain't getting no love from your stuff. Better to have less stuff and more love. Of
I
course,
don't know.
that's
I
an
don't
old
know.
man's perspective. I know when you're 20 it's different, but that's the way it seems from where I am.
I don't know. Dahlia kind of loves me. Then
I can see
again.
that.
Okay, let me get back to my questions. Did you always picture yourself as an actor as a career in life?
No, I want to be a preacher when I was very little, and I guess acting is a subset of that.
Mm-hmm.
I became an actor because I was unpopular in every way that a boy could be
Mm-hmm.
unpopular in my time, in my place, raised in the South. I was the fat kid, the ugly kid, the sissy kid, and the smart kid, all of those things together. And so I used to get the crap beat out of me all the time. And I discovered that I could change my voice and do imitations of, teachers and principals and things like that. And so then they were nice to me when I do that because I was their little performing monkey. So I learned if you entertain people, they won't hit you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I just want to entertain people. So at first it was self-preservation, but then I started to really like it. And it became the way that I prefer to interact with people. I'm a little more social now, still pretty much a hermit, but yeah,
Whoops.
it's been a really good life.
That's good. Hang on. I dropped my notes. I dropped my
You don't
notes.
need them. You
I
don't
don't.
need them. Just it's all up here.
I know, but sometimes I forget. I gotta keep myself in track.
No, you don't. Just flow. Let it flow, baby. Let it flow.
Okay. Okay. Who is your biggest influence in your acting career?
I've never met any of these people, but Lon Chaney Sr., Humphrey Bogart, early Clint Eastwood, and Michael Caine, I think are probably the four strongest influences for me.
I could see Lon Chaney a lot for me because he's amazing with special effects makeup and he can act through the makeup.
Yeah, and that was my first love in this business was makeup. I wasn't good enough to make a career out of it, but I got my makeup box right down here in the
Oh,
office, and
cool.
I still got all my putty and all my stuff.
That's so
In fact, I'll,
cool.
I'll hold on. I'll be right back. I'll show
Oh,
you some.
oh, we're about to see the makeup box,
Yeah.
y'all.
Um, so this stuff is called mortician's wax,
Oh,
and it was developed for this. This is from when I was a kid, so that's why it has all the different colors and stuff in it. But it's
hmm
still, I mean, it's still putty like. This was developed for morticians, and in my day there was no internet, and it was made by the Gold Bond Company, I think. It was a company called Naturo. Anyway, they were Pierce Chemicals in Texas was the only place you could get this, and it was only sold to morticians.
oh
Well,
wow.
I wanted it because I wanted to be able, like my hero Lon Chaney, to create noses and Quasimodo faces and things. And so this stuff was the only stuff that you could really do that well with. So I called the company pretending to represent my family's funeral home, which was non-existent. I know they knew I was lying, and said, oh, it's the Oberst funeral home, and I'm the son, but I call, and I'm wondering, do you have Naturoplasto? Anyway, so they sent me a catalog, and I ordered it, and so I still have a couple of tins of Naturoplasto, but
Oh wow.
yeah, I get
That's
misty eyed when I think about my old makeup stuff. Taking the Dick Smith course and learning how to do a tissue paper mummy. And, that was really exciting. He's coming in the kitchen and saying, Mom, what do you think about this? And she's like, that's very nice too.
That's me and my mom with my makeup. She's like, "Yep, Courtney, that's good. Look amazing though."
Yeah. Like, yes, that's very nice. Now wash up for dinner.
No, my mom would be so amazed with my clown makeup and stuff. It's like, "Oh, it's amazing, Courtney. I gotta take a picture." I'm like, "Yes."
I made latex noses in my mother's oven, which is absolutely not safe at all.
Oh
It's a
no.
wonder we didn't all die. But she was like, are you supposed to be doing this? Are you sure this is safe? I was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. So,
Oh
yeah.
god. Have your mom and your family been supportive of your career?
Yes. They never expected anything to come of it, but they knew it was what I wanted to do for a living. My father always said I would live in a cardboard box, and
Mhm.
sometimes still does, depending on his mood. But yeah, yeah, they have. My mother doesn't watch any of the bloody stuff. She doesn't like anything that's horror related at all. But the Hallmark stuff that I've done, she really likes that. The westerns, the movies I've done, she likes that.
Oh.
And my dad doesn't like anything, but he will reluctantly say, I'm proud of you, boy. I reckon you did all right. Unless he's in a really bad mood, in which case you're gonna say you're gonna end up living in a damn box, boy. You should have gotten a job.
Like,
But I love
thanks,
him.
Dad.
I love him, and I love them both. Yeah, they have been supportive. They've been very kind. They
That's
haven't
good.
forced me. They didn't force me when I washed out of college. They didn't A, disown me, or B, force me to do something I didn't want to do with my life. They just let
hmm
me kind of find my way.
That's how I feel with my family as well, because I still have a loving, supportive family. And anyway, but they were like saying like you either have to go back to school or you get a job. I'm like, well, I'm getting a job then.
Yeah, you got to find your way.
And I've been doing
And
pretty well.
you find lots of ways in life. I mean, you have to try on different versions of yourself to see which one is you. It took me a long time to arrive at this version of me, which I think is pretty close to the final. I think it's pretty close. But yeah, it took a lot of tries.
What made you want to become an actor?
I liked the feeling of being safe
Mm-hmm.
by entertaining people, because if I was entertaining them, then I didn't really have to interact with them, and I was terribly afraid of people,
Mm-hmm.
and still am. And in some way in social situations, I can still freeze up. I'm really hermit by nature. But when you're performing, you're interacting with them, but it's in a very structured way. So you're not really just putting yourself out there. You are, but you're not, because it's just a safe way. So I craved human interaction, but I was terribly afraid of people. So if you're that way, maybe you should be an actor too. Just don't expect to make a living at it, because that rarely happens.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's very hard. From the stories I heard and everything. What do you prefer? Well, I asked you this question. Am I skipping that one? Who been your favorite characters to play as?
In a horrible way, Papa Corn. I mean, it's really disturbing to play him, but I have to admit that the effect that he had on people, that I've had people particularly people who've experienced trauma in their life, military veterans, people who've experienced real traumatic things, have told me that Circus of the Dead was in some way helpful to them and that they liked Papa Corn. They found it cathartic.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was definitely one of the characters. My little killer on Criminal Minds, who was so sweet, trying to deal with the loss of his mother in the only way he could, which was strangling people with barbed wire.
Oof.
Yeah, I enjoyed playing him. I've enjoyed the movies I've done with Mark Savage and hope to do another one. He let me play a different kind of character, not a monster, but a person who was doing what anybody would do in the situation, but still to deadly effect. In a movie called Stress to Kill, where the doctor said, you got to get your blood pressure down any way you can. And I said, well, how do I do that? And he said, I don't know, be creative. So my guy starts killing people that irritate him and so forth. Yeah. So yeah, there's
That's
a lot
one
of them.
way. You're the one.
That's
You're the one causing my stress.
That's three that come to mind immediately. Oh, and in a movie called The Retrieval, which was a Western Civil War era by Chris Eska. In The Retrieval, I played a slave bounty hunter named Burrell, and he was very, very taciturn, kind of like the characters that Lee Marvin played in Westerns. And I hadn't had a chance to do that kind of really quiet, still character, and I enjoyed that.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Why do you like performing in horror projects and films?
I've loved horror since I was yay high. I always thought the monsters were my friends, I guess because I kind of felt like a monster myself. Um, I've never really enjoyed like just the jump scare for its own sake. I don't like that. I find it boring and predictable. Or the blood for, oh, look at the blood spurt. I don't care. I mean, I know how all that's done, but a good psychological horror story, and Circus of the Dead, I think, is a psychological horror story because you're wondering what happened to these people that they're doing these things to these other people, and they're playing clowns at the same time. That's what I like, is something that leaves you thinking, what did I just see? And what in the world was going on in that character's head? So that's the kind of horror that I like. Because I think that we make our own monsters by the way we treat each other. And so those interest me a lot more than, the huge character in the mask with the machete. I don't really care.
Yeah, I kind of like, and there's one character I kind of, I like. No, well, there's one character I've been watching this film called Deep Star of Strangeland, which was Captain Howdy, and he was just all psychological and philosophical, and the whole time it was like, I shouldn't like you, but I kind of like you.
Yeah, Captain Howdy's a great example of that, right? I shouldn't like you, but I kind of like
like
you.
you.
I got that a lot from people with Papa Corn. Like, he's horrible, but I kind of like him at the same time. So that's like playing with the dark stuff that's inside us, and which we kind of like. It feels really good to be mean. There is a reward, a momentary reward in it, and just like saying something really sharp to somebody, we like it. And like, how far could we go with that, and what's the danger of it, and what happens when somebody does go all the way with it. And yeah, that's what interests me, is I got to have a human being in there. If it's just a mechanical monster or something that's no longer resembles a human in any way, I'm not interested. Just a killing machine,
Yeah,
like,
it's like, come
you know,
on.
so what?
Oh, that's gonna get boring real quick. I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do? Stab me?
That's why Killer Baby is so interesting. And Scary Children are so interesting because it's, we all began as children, and children have these really dark impulses, and so that's always an interesting genre.
I know, because I work with kids and they can get scary sometimes.
Yeah, children can be really mean.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like, in my characters, I try to bring woundedness across. So, like, I don't like to speak in much of a stronger voice than I'm speaking to you now. But if I were talking to you just this way, as we talked, I was
Mhm.
dismembering you and saying, I'm sorry that I have to do this, while I was severing, some body part. I think that's a lot creepier and more effective than the which
I'm
I've
gonna
never been.
do this to you.
Yeah, I've never been
No.
into that. I like
Yeah,
I
okay.
like my I like my characters to be almost sad that they're doing what they're doing. Almost sad. Not quite, but almost. Where you can almost have sympathy for them, like, gee, it's terrible that they have to do this horrible thing. And then you're like, oh wait, I'm having sympathy for the wrong person. That's the good stuff. Plays with your head.
Yeah. Oh my god. Uh, what was your favorite project you ever worked on?
Oh my God, there is not one. There's different facets of different projects. No, I hate to be the guy that says you can't pick one, but I really can't. It's been 200 film projects and television, and no, I can't really pick one.
Wow.
Now on stage, of all the stage stuff that I did a presentation which toured around to churches and colleges, and it was the teachings of Jesus, as if
Hmm.
he might have been there talking. It was all the parables from the New Testament. That was the favorite thing that I ever did on stage. Um, I would never, ever, ever have the audacity to do that now, but I was young,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I did it. But I was able to look into people's eyes as they were looking completely past me and the makeup and the wig and everything, and they were having their own experience was with what they perceived Jesus of Nazareth to be to them, and it was a beautiful thing. It felt like, I don't know, almost like being invisible, kind of like enabling them to have a spiritual experience. Yeah.
I'm getting teary eyed. Sorry, folks. I'm getting emotional. Oh my
At
god.
least you're not. At least there's no snot.
No. Mm-mm. No. I don't want to mess up my pretty face. Well, I mean,
Oh, that's the worst too, when the makeup starts running with the
well,
tears. Yeah, no.
good good thing on me. I'm all natural today.
Good. Okay, good.
So, oh wow, I didn't look at the time. We are almost at an hour. Oh no. Do you want us to keep on going? Because I know
What's
you
that?
said, okay, it's 9 o'clock my time right now.
Yeah, yeah, I think an hour is probably sufficient. That's about as much of me as people
Yeah, because I was
would
like, I
want to
just
handle.
realized, I like, oh no, I went over my time limit. And
No,
we pretty
that's
much got all the details and stuff.
that's all right. People
And
are like, yeah, that's enough.
yeah. I do have one more question. I end it on my show, no matter what, no matter how the guest is big or small. If you could go back in time to your childhood self, what would you tell them and why?
I've thought about this a lot. I wouldn't listen. I've often thought, if the phone rang right now and it were the 80-year-old me saying, I've got to tell you something, I don't know that I'd listen. All right, so you
Yeah.
don't know what you're old. You're just an old man. You don't know what you're talking about. I probably would have said the same thing. Um, but what I would say to my younger self, if I could, was don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid of the thoughts you have. Don't be afraid of your desires. Don't be afraid of the things that interest you. Don't be afraid that you're not going to measure up to what other people want you to be, because you're going to have to come to terms with who you are. At some point in your life, you're going to have to come to terms with it, Billy. This is me talking to my younger self. And the more years you spend trying to fit into somebody else's box and saying, am I good enough now? Am I good enough now? Am I good enough now? The longer you're putting off the time when you're going to have to sit with yourself and say, this is who I am. So that's what I would say. And my younger self would say, oh, please, old man. And he'd hang up the phone.
Oh.
But anyway, so we made the try, right? Now, what if my 19-year-old self called me? I would say, you are stupid. You have no idea what you're talking about. And no way do I want to hear anything you have to say, and I'd hang up. So yeah, probably like our versions of ourselves from past and future, we should never meet because we wouldn't get along.
Yeah, I get a feeling because your past self pretty much like, oh, I know what I'm doing, but then again, you don't. You really don't.
But you know, I deal with people who are 80, 85 years old pretty regularly now because it's that time in life for some of my family members, and you know, at these different facilities and taking care of them, and they say the same thing. They say, "Oh, you know, when I was 70, I didn't know anything." So it never,
we don't.
It never stops.
It's because you're still learning as you grow, no matter what.
Kind of
I say Billy Pond is drawing comments in this section. He's like, hey,
Billy's still here?
Yeah, he's still here. He's like, Billy, hey, you're hot. My girlfriend's out of town. Want to watch a movie and chill? Which one? Are you talking to Dahlia?
Look out.
And he wants Dahlia.
He ain't talking to Dahlia. You better let me get off of here so you and Billy can do a little.
Oh, no.
You better let me go.
Oh, no.
Let me go, my child. Let me go. I'm going to sign off, and with great thanks to you, Courtney. This has really been, I knew it would be fun, but it's been more fun. Thank you.
And thank you for coming to the show as well. I appreciate everything. I still had a lot more questions, but our time kind of ran out, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to hold him anymore. I need to let him go. I need to let him free. Okay, if you love something, you let it go. You let it go.
That's right. I know that we'll meet in person, and I know that we'll interact again, and I'm so happy to have encountered you. Thank you.
Because you got some personal things to know, and plus I gotta go to work in the morning. I gotta watch my babies.
Rock on.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly. And you're actually my final episode for the season.
Wonderful. I hope it was a good send-off.
It was. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney.
Bill.
Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you, and goodbye, and farewell. Bye-bye. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. I'm gonna put you backstage real quick before I close out the folks. Folks, that was Billy Pond. No, that was last week's episode. 2 weeks ago. I am signing off now, and thank you for coming in the show. And Bill Oberst Jr. was a most wonderful guest. Even though I had 10 more questions, but hey, maybe I can get him on the show next time. Who knows what the future holds, but thank you for coming in to Strange and Wonderful, and I will see you on the next season. I forgot what season I'm on. Season 4, coming back in March. I'll see y'all in March of next year, of 2024, because I gotta take a break. I love y'all, peace, and thank you so much for your love and support. Bye-bye, and I love y'all. Bye-bye. Da-da-da-da-da.